How can you recognize if you are under psychic attack? First of all, you have to realize that there are entities and other incorporeal intelligences all around you coming in and out of the lower astral realm, or what some people call the fourth dimension. They travel in and out of the fourth dimension into the third dimension where we are on Earth. And like parasites, these beings operate in a manner where they drain our energy, they act as a vampire of energy, of our energy and consciousness. And they basically try and keep us at a low level so that they can hijack us and body snatch us and get us to do their bidding and, you know, make things happen on their behalf through us via hijacking our body. Now, obviously, majority of people will never be able to recognize this, and those that are spiritually intuitive will recognize this obviously, but even the spiritually intuitive, or people with discernment or whatever, um yeah, like it may take you a minute, because I have several abilities, like intuition and discernment and being able to read a room and you know um just being able to perceive energy in the air and vibes and you know the energy around me and just a lot of different things. Like, it's a real thing that you can experience and tap into. But it took me even a long time to figure out what was going on with these entity attachments and psychic attacks and all that. And so basically, if you have an entity attachment, it's already attacking your psychic mind. It's attacking your consciousness, it's attacking your third eye, and it's trying to lower your energy. And if you've been living with this thing for a long time, then it's been lowering your energy for a long time. And you may be wondering why certain times of the day you feel tired or depressed or sad or low energy, and other times you feel better. Or when you go in certain areas, you feel drained, or you just feel like your consciousness is at a low level and your energy is very low. That's one indicator that there could be a lot of energy vampire entities around, um, shooting psychic attacks at you and stuff like that. And just all around in general. Now, mainly these beings operate through, energy vampirism, and that's their main motive. But I do believe that they have other agendas. Like, if they see somebody who's a threat and capable of waking up and tapping into universal knowledge through the universal mind of the all that is, um, and pulling down, intuitive insight from the cosmos and being able to use it and wield it in a powerful manner, I do believe that they will attack you just based off of that. Like, they can read your intentions, they can read your energy, and you will get your third eye attacked and you will get psychically attacked. And it may not be the same type of an attack for everyone. They may not experience it the same way. Like, everybody may not have the same experience with these beings, but they'll develop something for you that works for you and that helps them to drag you into the mud, basically. So one way you can recognize a psychic attack is basically tapping into yourself, meditating. There's certain, normal practical steps that you can take, and sitting in silence, contemplating in a quiet room, maybe in your bedroom or wherever you can find, some quiet time, and things will just start to come to you. You can also take a walk in nature or go sit, on a trail somewhere. If they have like some rocks or somewhere you can sit, and some trails have a bench where people, can sit and hang out. And if you have a nice view of the mountains or nature or whatnot, you can take like an hour and just sit there and just look around and things will come to you. But you have to be open and willing to do this. Otherwise, you're not going to know anything. You're just going to know the normal human veil experience that majority of people on the planet are having. And another way is uh, if you are in a good mood or your energy's high, and the whole day goes by and your energy is great, and then 4 or 5 o'clock comes around and you just feel drained and tired, or it seems like there's a bad vibe that's just coming out of nowhere. That's an indicator that an entity could be lurking around, um, trying to pierce your auric field because your energy is raising, uh, either too high, or they consider you a threat or whatever. Um, Sometimes like you're just a threat just because you know how to. You have the ability and you're capable of knowing how to wield your power if you were to raise your vibration high enough. Some people just raise their vibration and then they just want to, go buy a house or make a lot of money. Okay, some people want to do that and then some, and then some. You know, um, but yeah. So that's one. Those are a couple ways. Another way is, if you just see people displaying strange behavior out of nowhere. It doesn't have to be the same type of strange behavior for everyone. We all experience things differently. Our perception is all different. We're all different angles of information and whatnot. And so if you see people go from just being normal, like your friends, your family, and even people that you don't even know, um, if you see them just saying weird stuff or behaving weird or making weird movements, or they seem like they're watching you and stuff like that, like they have entities on them that are trying to use them to mess with you, and they are psychically attacking you through them. See, like these entities can use other people as vehicles and as weapons once they've hijacked them to attack you and your energy and try to mess with you and lower your energy and all that. So if you see these things, you could be under psychic attack, um, more than likely. And another way is, if everything is going good in your life, and I mean, it seems like you got a handle on things and you've got some good trajectory, and forward momentum and all that. And then all of a sudden, challenges start popping up out of nowhere, this and that, or a bunch of confusion just comes, or, you got some family members or some friends that come out of nowhere with a confusing situation, and all this energy and just vibes is everywhere, and it just came out of nowhere, and you're like, what the hell? That could be entities trying to psychically attack you, using your friends, hijacking your friends. See, the thing is you don't know how deep this stuff goes. Like, there have been entities from the lower astral realm that have been coming in and out of the third dimension for thousands of years, okay? And even beyond that, maybe hundreds of thousands of years. Who knows? We don't really know like how long this has been going on, but this has been part of the Earth experience since, the dawn of time. And that's just how it is. It's part of duality, okay? There's a game of duality of sorts here, and these entities are playing their role in the game of duality, and we're playing ours. It's a balance here. It's a balance of the light and the dark, the low and the high, um, fire and water, etc., etc. Anger and fear, peace and love. Okay, that's just the game that's being played down here. And so they're just doing their job at the end of the day, even though it sucks and they're parasites and you want to slap them. But it's just part of the game. And this has been going on for a long time. People have been being hijacked for generations. And the only way to prevent it is to raise your vibration. But it's a diligent daily job. Like, you have to stay at it. You have to do certain things. Even if you can't do the same list of things every day, like you have to do something every day that raises your vibration, that makes you feel, like you're closer to the best version of yourself, or that you're working towards that. Um, because otherwise, these beings can just come and manipulate your mood whenever they want, whenever they feel like, and that ain't cool. You're going to really go through a lot of drama and inner turmoil because you're not recognizing the pattern of these beings. You got to have a certain level of spiritual pattern recognition with these entities. And you have to have some knowledge of the fourth dimension, the lower astral realm, and low vibrational beings. You have to have some knowledge of that. Because where you're supposed to plug into is the higher astral realm. the astral realms of peace and joy and neutrality and just calmness and tranquility and all that. Those are your astral realms. You're not supposed to be delving into the astral realms of fear and anger and apathy and hate and all that stuff. Because where attention flows, energy goes. Okay, where your consciousness is all the time is where you're going to be feeding. So if you're on a low vibrational frequency, feeding all those emotions in real life, for a long time, I had a massive entity um, that was hijacking my life and people around me to try to drive me crazy because I was giving it so much energy unconsciously. I didn't realize what was going on. I didn't realize I was feeding the demon, so to speak, even though I don't like that term demon, but it is what it is. I was feeding the beast, not realizing it, and it turned on me and it tried to eat me alive. So if you're feeding negative stuff and low vibrational stuff all the time, you're going to have a lot of entities on your auric field and coming in and out of the fourth dimension, manipulating your mind, your life, your emotions, your thoughts, okay, your energy and motion, the people around you, your family members. And you may not recognize it at first, because you're all on the same frequency. So you're just going to think, oh, we're all just, kind of doing our thing, whatever. But once you start to better yourself in your energy and your consciousness and you raise your consciousness, then you start to see it, because that's what happened to me. And that's what happens to a lot of people. You get attacked. You get these energy vampires that come for you even harder when you try to raise your vibrational frequency. And, if you have a strong gift of discernment, or, intuition, or you just have a strong ability to see with your third eye, then, you'll see these entities in real time hijacking people. And there's only a very select few that have seen this. I saw it off and on for 7 years, but it took me towards the latter end of those 7 years that, you know, uh, to really recognize what the hell was really going on. Because, by the time you recognize people being hijacked around you and being manipulated to try to provoke a reaction out of you, I don't want to say it's too late, but it may take you a minute to process all that while you're trying to raise your vibration. The smart thing to do is to raise your vibration long before you get heavy attacks. And some people are able to do that because they weren't, on too low of a vibration, and then they were just able to do the work and get on a high frequency. Some of us got caught up in hell itself, in our own personal hell, even though we, sugarcoated it and accepted it for what it is and called it normal and just said, oh, this is how I am. When in reality, that's not how you really are. And you just weren't able to decipher what was really going on and dig deep enough to analyze the situation, and go within yourself and figure things out. And that's okay. Not everybody is, on that path to doing that. Some people are supposed to get stuck on a low vibrational frequency and stay there. And I believe we all have the free will choice to do whatever we want. And that's where that comes from. Some people just use their free will and they stay where they are. And that's their free will choice. If you want to expand and evolve, that's your free will choice. You don't have to. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. But those are some ways that you can recognize psychic attacks and energy vampirism. I had a crazy group of energy vampires that almost messed my entire life up over the last 7 years. If I just wasn't so headstrong and, determined to never give up, I would have been destroyed by these entities. And I don't want to see nobody else get destroyed. But sadly, some people have. Some people have committed some heinous acts because they couldn't recognize the pattern recognition of these entities. So that's all I'm here to do, is try to help somebody recognize this shit before it's too late for them. But anyways, we over here, we raising it up. You already know, raising the roof. And till the next one, hope you get something out of this.